In this video, I'm going to show you 5 reasons why you're not losing weight with intermittent fasting, or worse, why you might even be gaining weight even though you're fasting. Imagine that. These are the exact same tips that I give to all my students, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. So you know it works. Before we get started, give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell to get notified every time I post a new video every week. Okay, let's start with the most obvious one. Don't feel bad if this is you. This is very common for a lot of people. You're simply still eating too much, especially too much of the bad stuff. You fast for however long you decided to fast, but after that, all bets are off. During your eating window, it becomes a free-for-all. This is honestly one of the biggest mistakes I see time and time again why people aren't losing weight. Yes, intermittent fasting is one of the best tools to have at your disposal when it comes to improving your health and reaching your fat loss goals, but it's just that. It's just a tool. It's not a magic bullet. Like, more than anything, it's an extremely easy way to put yourself on a calorie deficit because you're eating less frequently. It's also an unbelievably effective way to moderate insulin, which is your storing hormone. When insulin is low, it allows you to tap into your almost unlimited fat stores and burn it for energy. But that doesn't just happen overnight, especially if you've been overweight for a long time. You develop something called insulin resistance. You need to practice intermittent fasting long enough, and that's another mistake in itself, where you're just impatient while pairing it with a diet that moderates your insulin levels to reverse it. Eventually, you'll get to a point where you become metabolically flexible. Metabolic flexibility is when you can easily tap into your fat stores and burn it for energy in between meals. But if your diet is average at best, you're still eating a lot of refined carbs and sugar, it's only going to be a matter of time until you hit the dreaded weight loss plateau. You're basically counteracting all the benefits you just got from intermittent fasting. Eating junk promotes metabolic inflexibility. You're basically taking one step forward from fasting, but 2 steps back because of your diet. What you eat and when you eat are equally important when it comes to losing weight. Intermittent fasting takes care of the when you eat part, but you also have to start optimizing the what you eat part of the equation. Don't eat like an asshole. Yes, I've talked a lot about how to lose fat without counting calories on my channel. It's entirely possible to do it, but this is also when having some sort of an idea how much you're actually eating by tracking your macros can be really helpful. Remember, what gets measured gets controlled. You should check out my video on how to count macros properly if you have no idea how to do it. Number 2, you're drinking unnecessary healthy liquid calories. Consuming liquid calories is one of the fastest ways to derail any weight loss effort. This also includes healthier options like juice, fruit smoothies, green juice, and coconut water. It doesn't matter that they contain electrolytes and vitamins. You can get your vitamins and minerals from better sources like meat. When you eat fruit in its unprocessed form, and I'm not even a big fan of eating fruit to begin with, but there are levels to this, fruit will naturally contain fiber, which slows down the absorption and give you some level of satiety because your body has to physically digest the fruit. But if you consume it in its juice form, it basically becomes rocket fuel. Most of the fiber gets taken out and you're basically just drinking liquid sugar at that point. If you blend fruit, it makes it a lot easier for your body to break down because there's not a lot of digestion necessary. And because it's so easy to break down once it enters your system, those sugars are really going to be quickly absorbed in your bloodstream, causing a huge spike in blood glucose with a corresponding spike in insulin. Which brings me to my next point. Sugar, in case you didn't know, is one of the most insulinogenic types of food on the planet, which means it causes a huge spike in insulin. Not to mention fructose, which is the type of sugar found in fruit, is extremely lipogenic because your liver has to process it first and turn it into glucose to become usable energy. Lipogenic means it's fattening. This is why considering fruit to be a health food is a myth. Again, one of the proven benefits of intermittent fasting is improved insulin sensitivity because you're just not eating as much. Remember, every time you eat, your insulin goes up. When you're not eating, insulin stays low and you activate your built-in fat burning mechanism. It only makes sense that when you break your fast, you want to do your best to still keep insulin moderated by only drinking and eating foods that are insulinogenic or lipogenic. Again, what spikes insulin the most? Carbs and refined sugar, like, I don't know, liquid calories. So don't sabotage yourself. Plus, drinking juice and fruit smoothies just promotes overconsumption. A normal human being, for example, would only eat 1 orange or an apple in one sitting, right? But if you buy even like a tiny bottle of juice, it'll say it contains 5 oranges. That's not a good thing. Like, who the heck eats 5 oranges in one sitting? The problem is, it's not satiating at all because it's already been processed and it only contains sugar at that point. Same thing when you get a smoothie from a place like Jamba Juice. Like, a small orange supreme smoothie has the same amount of sugar as a can of Coke. If you really want to eat fruit, stick to low sugar types of fruit like berries and avocado, and only eat fruits that are in season. Number 3, you're still eating frequently during your eating window. Again, every time you eat, assuming that it's a blend of carbs, fat, and protein, your insulin goes up. Your body goes into fat storing mode, which means that if you eat frequently during your eating window, you're constantly going to be secreting insulin, which keeps you in fat storing mode. Eating frequently is also a sign that you're not eating satiating meals, because if you were, you should easily be able to go 3 to 4 hours in between meals. It also comes down to a numbers game. The more frequently you eat, the higher your chances are of over-consuming and end up being on a calorie surplus. If you want to lose weight, you need to be on a calorie deficit while keeping insulin, cortisol, and other important hormones moderated. Plus, we usually don't snack on the healthiest stuff. We snack on chips, cookies, crackers, trail mix, granola bars, protein bars, and designer coffee, again, which are all extremely insulinogenic. They're all processed and contain sugar. Ideally, you just want to aim for 2 to 3 highly satiating meals during your eating window. This is why I always say that there are other fun and interesting things to do in life rather than stuffing your face with food every time you're bored. I personally eat one small meal followed by one giant meal during my 4-hour eating window. Heck, sometimes I just eat one giant meal. Best believe that those meals are filled with single ingredient, mostly unprocessed, nutrient-dense foods, which makes it extremely satiating. Number 4, you're not eating enough protein. I have to mention this because I see a lot of people commenting on my videos asking why they're not losing weight with intermittent fasting, but worse, they're starting to lose their hair. This is why it's crucial that you prioritize getting enough protein in your diet, because the amino acids in protein becomes the building blocks that your body uses to build itself from within. Protein and fat are essential to the human body. You would die without it. Fun fact, there are no essential carbs. Your body, being the amazing thing that it is, can actually make its own glucose through a process called gluconeogenesis. Tell that to your bro or trainer who still insists that you need to carb load before your workout. Going back to prioritizing satiety when you eat, if you eat meat, you'll automatically get a combination of fat and protein. Protein and fat are the most satiating macronutrients. They're also delicious. Protein activates peptide YY or PYY, and fat activates cholecystokinin or CCK, which are key satiety hormones. The bioavailability from animal protein is also far superior than getting your protein from plants. In fact, eating mostly animals is so effective at turning off hunger and producing some pretty fascinating weight loss transformations that an elimination diet like the carnivore diet has gained a lot more popularity lately. But it's not a fad diet. Some would even say that a carnivore-ish or a mostly carnivore diet is the original human diet. You won't find a short list of testimonials from people who swear by it, especially when it comes to reversing autoimmune disease. You'll usually hear people say that they fix their allergies, eczema, arthritis, and completely transform their bodies and their lives by going on a carnivore diet. That's kind of hard to ignore. In fact, I've recently switched back to a mostly carnivore diet since I moved to Mexico, mostly out of necessity because I don't have a full kitchen here to cook vegetables. I'm also really lazy, so I just buy cooked meat. And you know what? I love it. I feel amazing. Best believe I'm getting enough protein through this diet. If you're wondering how much protein you need, the general rule is you want to eat 0.7 grams per pound of lean body mass. For example, a 200-pound man at 20% body fat would have a lean body mass of 160 pounds, which means he would need to eat a minimum of 112 grams of protein to maintain and build muscle. If you play sports, or you're really active, or if you're pregnant, you generally get to eat more. You can go as high as 1 gram per pound of lean body mass, or even a little bit more. Going back to our previous example, that person would need to eat at least 160 grams of protein every day. But that 0.7 multiplier is the bare minimum for protein. If you don't meet that criteria, that's when your body starts to think that it's in a state of famine. It goes into survival mode. It starts to prioritize more important functions like keeping your heart pumping and your organs functioning properly. That's why people start losing their hair, because technically you can go without hair. It's not essential to keep you alive. Also, losing fat is going to be pretty low on your body's priority of things to do, because your body's actually going to want to hold on to your fat stores because that's your fuel reserve. A really easy way to get more protein in your diet is to just eat more eggs. Eggs are one of the most nutritious foods on the planet. It's basically nature's version of a multivitamin. I personally eat at least 3 to 4 eggs a day. And I love using this example. Sean Baker, a doctor who's really big in the carnivore diet space, claims to eat close to 100 eggs a week. And he looks like that. He's obviously doing something right. Also, don't worry too much about getting your protein in right away after your workout, especially if you work out first thing in the morning, but don't break your fast until noon. So you resort to drinking a protein shake because you're worried about the anabolic window. That is a myth. As long as you get enough protein at some point during the day and you get enough of it, you're fine. But that's the biggest selling point for protein powder companies. By the way, if you drink a protein shake during your fasting window, that automatically breaks your fast. Some people think otherwise because they're not eating solid food, but that's a mistake. Again, anything that activates your digestion or anything that tastes sweet, even though it's 0 calories, will break your fast. Plus, protein powders are typically high in sugar or artificial sweeteners. Whey and casein, the type of protein found in protein powders, are also extremely insulinogenic because they're extremely processed. The more processing your food goes through, the worse it is for you. And because it's in powder form, again, it's like rocket fuel once it enters your body because it's so easy to digest. It just passes through you, which means you're gonna be hungry again in no time. But if you eat real food like meat and eggs, it's also gonna contain some fat while giving you protein, which keeps you satiated longer. Plus, there's also the thermic effect of protein from eating real food. 30% of the calories in animal protein is burned through digestion. So 100 calories of meat only gives you 70 calories net total. This is why I always say that not all calories are created equal. Number 5, you're inadvertently breaking your fast. I kind of brushed on this already, but it bears repeating and explaining. Other than eating too much, this is the biggest culprit for a lot of people why they're not losing weight with intermittent fasting. And I still see this in the comments of a lot of my videos where people ask if they can drink this or eat that while they're fasting. The short answer is no. And that is not the right type of mindset you should be in. Fasting is all about taking a break from eating and giving your body a chance to use your fat stores for energy. It's not about trying to see what you can get away with and, cheating the system. You're only gonna be cheating yourself and you're gonna be severely disappointed with your results or lack thereof. The only things you're allowed to have during your fast are water, soda water or seltzer water, black coffee, or tea. That is it. Drinking diet soda, using artificial sweeteners in your coffee, or drinking fruity types of tea will break your fast. And I used to be guilty of this. This is also a big aha moment for a lot of my students. For the longest time, I put stevia in my coffee. I thought it was a better option than Splenda because it was natural. I was also stuck. I couldn't seem to lose those last 5 pounds. I also struggled big time with hunger pangs during my fast. I was miserable. That is until I read about something called the cephalic phase insulin response, or CPIR. It's your body's physiological reaction whenever it tastes something sweet like artificial sweeteners. It doesn't matter that it's 0 calories. Your body starts to think that you're about to eat. Your brain, being the supercomputer that it is, then starts to send a signal to your pancreas to start producing insulin in anticipation of all the food that's coming. The problem is, there is no food. Not only have you inadvertently broken your fast by triggering an insulin response by using stevia, but you also now have to deal with stronger hunger pangs because you've just confused your body by giving it the signal that you're about to eat. If you really want to optimize fat loss from intermittent fasting, you want to stick to what a lot of experts call a true fast or a clean fast. No cheating the system. It also makes it so much easier to fast if you do things the right way. The only small exception here is adding a tiny splash of heavy cream to your coffee. This is really helpful if you can't drink your coffee black. It's not the end of the world because pure fat has little to no effect on your insulin levels. This is why fat doesn't make you fat. That's it, guys. I hope this video helps. The next question then becomes, how are you actually supposed to eat if you want to lose weight? Because here's the thing, 80% of your body composition is determined by your diet. You can't just freestyle this part. Do you have a proven plan that you can follow? To help you with that, I want to give you a free copy of my Lean Body Blueprint. This is how I melted all the fat around my stomach without depriving myself of my favorite foods or wasting hours at the gym. It's a simple 4-step process specifically designed for busy professionals, and it's the exact same blueprint that I teach to all my private coaching clients, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. If you want to be the next success story, then download your free copy of the Lean Body Blueprint right now. There's going to be a link somewhere at the top here or in the description box. Just click on it, type in your email, and I'll send it to you right away. All right, that's all I've got. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post a new video every week. And hey, leave a comment below if you have any questions about this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. First, a high five.